They told us never to go near cabin 12, not because it was abandoned, not because someone died there, but because every summer someone heard knocking from inside. Even when the cabin was empty, and the year I worked at Black Pine Camp, I found out who was knocking. I just wish I had never opened the door. I was 19 when I got the job at Black Pine Summer Camp. It seemed perfect. Fresh air, good money, no parents. Just 3 months in the woods of northern Oregon, helping kids. The camp had been there since the 1970s. Old wooden cabins, a lake too dark to see the bottom, pine trees so tall they blocked half the sky. It looked beautiful during the day. At night, it felt like something was watching from the trees. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, until I heard about Cabin 12. On my first day, the head counselor, Mike, gave me the usual tour: dining hall, dock, archery range, and then we passed Cabin 12. It sat farther back than the others, half hidden behind thick trees. Its windows were boarded up. The porch sagged like it was tired of standing. I pointed at it. "What happened there?" Mike stopped walking. For a second, I thought he hadn't heard me. Then he said quietly, "Stay away from that cabin." I laughed. "Seriously?" He didn't. "No one goes there. Not staff, not kids, nobody." "Why?" He looked at me for a long moment. Then he said, "Because some doors should stay closed," and walked away. That should have been enough. But people like me, we always need to know more. That night, I asked one of the older counselors, Sarah. She'd been working there for 4 summers. When I mentioned Cabin 12, she nearly dropped her drink. "Mike told you about it?" "He told me not to go near it." She stared into the campfire. Then she said, "20 years ago, a boy disappeared there." Her voice got quieter. His name was Daniel. He was 11. One night during camp, he sleepwalked. At least, that's what everyone thought. The counselors found muddy footprints leading into Cabin 12, but Daniel was never found. No blood, no body, nothing. Just his flashlight, still turned on, lying in the middle of the floor. The camp shut down for almost a year. When it reopened, they locked Cabin 12 forever. And every summer after that, someone reported hearing knocking from inside. 3 slow knocks, always after midnight. Knock, knock, knock. I laughed nervously. "You don't actually believe that, right?" Sarah looked at me. "I've heard it." And suddenly, I wasn't laughing anymore. But people like me, we always need to know more. 3 nights later, I heard it too. I couldn't sleep. The woods were too loud. Branches scraping windows, owls calling, something moving outside. Then, knock. I sat up. Silence. Knock, knock. 3 slow knocks, coming from somewhere outside. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped onto the porch. The camp was silent. Moonlight covered everything in silver. Then I saw it, a faint light between the trees near Cabin 12. I told myself it was another counselor, probably someone messing with the new guy. So I followed it. Every step into those woods felt wrong. Too quiet, too cold. The closer I got, the more I noticed the cabin door was open, just slightly, like someone had gone inside and left it waiting. The smell hit me first. Rot, wet wood, something old. My flashlight shook in my hand as I stepped inside. Dust covered everything, broken beds, peeling walls, a child's shoe in the corner, and in the center of the floor, a flashlight, old, rusted. Exactly where Daniels had supposedly been found. I whispered, "Very funny, guys." No answer. Then I heard it, from upstairs. Footsteps. Slow. Dragging. I should have run. I know that now. But fear does strange things. Sometimes it makes you flee. Sometimes it makes you walk toward the thing you should fear most. I climbed the stairs. Each step screamed under my weight. At the end of the hallway was one final door. Locked. And from the other side, knock, knock, knock. I froze. A child's voice whispered,
"Please, let me out."
Every hair on my body stood up. I should have run. Instead, I reached for the handle. The lock was old. It broke easily. The door swung inward, and the room was empty. At least, that's what I thought at first. Then my flashlight illuminated the walls, covered from floor to ceiling. Scratches. Thousands of scratches. Deep marks carved into the wood, as if someone was trying to break out. And over again written, "It's here, it's here, it's here." My heart sank. Behind me, the door slammed. I spun around. Darkness. Then breathing. Not mine. Something else. Slow. Wet. Right behind me. I turned on the flashlight, but there was no one in the room. I only heard a quiet whisper. "Run." I don't remember how I got out. I remember falling down the ladder. Splinters. Screams. Trees whipped past my face as I ran. Behind me. Footsteps. Not human. Too fast. Too many. I reached the main camp and started knocking on the door of Mike's cabin. He opened it, looked at me, and pulled me inside. Then he locked all the doors, all the windows, and he said words I will never forget. "You opened it." Not a question, a statement. I could only nod. Mike looked like he'd seen this before, because he had. He said quietly, "Why did you let him out?" Mike was silent for a long time, like he was deciding how much he should tell me. Finally, he looked at me and said, 20 years ago, Daniel was a camper here. He was 11, quiet kid, always nervous around the woods. One night, Daniel told his counselor that someone was calling his name from outside. They thought he was just having nightmares. Kids say strange things at summer camp, but Daniel kept saying the same thing. Every night, someone was knocking. 3 slow knocks, always after midnight. Knock, knock, knock. And every time, he heard a voice coming from the trees. Mike rubbed his hands together. The counselors told him to ignore it, but kids are curious, and fear makes people do stupid things. One night, Daniel followed the voice, straight into the woods, and no one ever saw him again. The only thing they found was his flashlight, still turned on, lying near cabin 12. The camp was shut down for almost a year. The case was never solved. Eventually, the camp reopened, but strange things started happening. Kids heard whispers outside their cabin doors, scratching on the walls, knocking at night. 3 slow knocks. Every time a child screamed that someone was inside the cabin, the counselors rushed in. But the room was always empty. No broken windows, no footprints, nothing. Just scratches on the walls. And the same words written over and over. "It's here." After that, cabin 12 was sealed shut. The windows were boarded up. No one was allowed near it. Mike looked at me, like he had been afraid of this moment for years. After that, everything went quiet. No sounds, no knocking, nothing, until you opened that door. His voice got lower. "You shouldn't have done that." He looked me straight in the eyes. "If it called to you, it won't stop." Honestly, I thought Mike was crazy. Just another campfire horror story people tell to scare new counselors. I didn't believe any of it. I decided I'd leave first thing in the morning. But that night, I heard knocking on my window, 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I left camp the next morning. I didn't even collect my final paycheck. I drove 12 hours straight without stopping. I moved, changed my number, told myself it was over, that I had escaped, that monsters belonged in the woods, not in real life. That was 3 years ago. Last night, I woke up to knocking, not at the window, from inside my closet. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. And then a child's voice.
Please, let me out.
If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more scary stories, legends, and terrifying late-night tales. And before you sleep tonight, check your closet, just in case.